cultivator? Hell yeah.
Classes in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC Guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Piper Academy. We've got a great show lined up for you today, looking at Ethereum, ETF possibly coming in today. We got some job numbers that just dropped for unemployment claims, giving a little pullback on the markets. And we got a breakdown on NVIDIA's earnings reports, all that, plus special guest Amy Lives Crypto right here today on Piper Academy. Let's get it, guys. Classes in session.
How's it sound?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Piper Academy. I am Army Piper, your host, and every morning we come at you at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, charts, and markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. We got a very, very special panel lined up today with, of course, my co-hosts. We got the OC Guy and Tradefly in the house, but we have a special guest today also. We're going to be bringing her on in just a minute. Tradefly, OC, what's up, fellas?
What's going on, man? It's another day where I got a little bit of rest, so I am ready to do this. No brain fog. I'm stoked. We got a lot to talk about, and like you said, I am also very excited because we have a very special guest. So let's get it going.
Let's do that. What's up, OC? How you doing today, man?
Not much, doing fantastic. It's just my OCD got really, really bad activated because I just noticed that I have a white spot right here, and now I will not be able to not look at this. Come on, OCD. But yeah, other than that, doing great.
The OC guy has OCD. Okay.
I was literally about to say OCD guy. Like
OCD guy.
I'm changing his name officially. Like, that's it.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Squirrel.
All right. Well, without any further ado, we have a very special guest. So let's bring her on today. It is Amy Lives Crypto, guys. Let's get her up here. Amy, welcome to the Piper Academy. What's up?
Good morning. It's so good to be here, you guys. Finally.
Yeah, normally you're over here in the chat. I see all your orange hearts. Now I get to see you on the screen here with us with an orange banner. So we're glad to have you on today.
Yes. Perfect. Thanks so much.
Shout out to Alex O Crypto, just dropped a super chat and said, I haven't given you my Canadian maple syrup magical trading profits in a while. I love you all, family. We love you too, Alex O Crypto. Thank you very much, man. We appreciate you. I hit the wrong one. It was not a joke that I said that we love you too. There you go. We got the army horn going. Guys, we have some ETF news coming out today. Might not be happening. We'll see. It's like 75% chance right now. But there's some letters coming in from politicians now to Gary Gensler, urging him to approve this. So we're going to talk about, yesterday I talked about that there's a lot of, everything's getting politicized in the crypto space, and Tradefly just blacked out on me. Come back, Tradefly. Everything's getting politicized in the crypto space right now. Are we going to see this become the talking point narrative? And what is that going to do to the prices of crypto? Because when politicians get involved and things become politicized, there becomes a massive movement on it. Are we about to see the most parabolic move in crypto ever, with the approval of like Trump saying, hey, we're going to accept Bitcoin for fundraising, and hey, these politicians now have these bills that they've been voting on this week, and now they look like they're going to be coming through, and now they're talking to Gary Gensler going, hey, we, the politicians, urge you, we strongly encourage you, as they say in the Army, to approve this. So what do you guys think this is going to do to price? We'll bring that letter up here in a second, but I just want you guys to let that marinate and think about that for a second. What is that going to look like for price? Because we're going to have that discussion here in a little bit. Guys, in the chat, let us know. What do you think is going to happen to price with the politicians making crypto a big talking point this year? So, Amy, would you like to tell the people who you are, about yourself, and about your channel? Because a lot of people don't know who you are. You're still growing, but you have some amazing content, and I think you have amazing perspective on the crypto space. So go ahead and tell the alumni who you are and about your content and what you do.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the question. I do. I have an itty bitty little channel that I absolutely love, and it's my passion project. For those who don't know, I have a pretty strong background in traditional finance. So I went the route of going to college and getting a degree in economics and business. Through all of that, I was able to get a minor in finance, won a Wall Street Journal award, was really just believing in, I want to learn how to make money. I want to be set up for, my legacy, my family, my children, all of that. And then after that, I managed a financial firm. So think wealth management, retirement planning for 7 years. And that was around the same time that I was introduced to Bitcoin. So 2017. And during that time, I was kind of a closet Bitcoiner because I was living in a world where I had these financial advisors telling all of their clients that Bitcoin was a scam. Don't touch that. We're fiduciary. That would be so irresponsible to have you invest in that. So I was like secretly DCAing, reading tons of books. I'm an avid reader. I love to learn things. Um, so I was quiet. Well, then cut to 4 years later when Bitcoin is pumping again, and we actually have clients coming in asking about this asset class, seriously wanting to invest. The advisors who had shunned me before and had kind of had little snippets of, you're smarter than this if you invest in that, that's silly. So again, 4 years later, they're saying, well, we don't really know about this. We don't want to touch it still. But if you insist on discussing it, go to Amy for that. And so we had clients who were having crypto conversations with me. And I just thought, I need to fully invest my time in this. This is where I'm passionate. And there's a true audience that needs to be educated on this. Because if you're going to your financial firm and they're telling you, this isn't a thing, let's just talk about something else, and kind of dismissing them, I'm like, I can't answer every direct DM that they're saying, what about this? What about this? So I just thought, let's take all the education that I have, all the books that I've read, put it on a platform that's understandable to everybody. And so we've been kind of just breaking it down for 6 months, and I have loved the response. I'm so grateful. And I'll continue to answer any and all questions that I get because Bitcoin is financial freedom, and I want everyone to have it. So as long as there's the desire, that's what I want to help people do.
Absolutely. And I love the comment here from Lex Caliber. He's one of our alumni here. He said, secret DCA and then showing up in a new Lambo. That's the way. So I actually have a similar story with a cousin of mine. He is a financial advisor and helps with like investment portfolios for retirement and stuff for JP Morgan Chase. Been with them for 30 plus years, and he may or may not be secretly accumulating Bitcoin behind the scenes. So through other party members, not himself. So, but yeah, it is a thing. There's a bunch of you in the space that are like, yeah, my company's official stance and my ability to buy crypto, blah 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 blah, dot dot dot.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, look, I'm retiring on this, like, and it's out there, it exists. So you are not alone on that one. We are definitely getting some dumping right now. We're going to take a look at those charts in just a second. Let's get into the news. Let's knock this out of the way so we can have great discussions, because I think we've got a great show coming up for you guys today. But Amy, yeah, thank you for being on here, and we are very happy to have you as part of the panel today. So stick around. Let's get that news going, and we'll be coming back to look at some Bitcoin charts real soon because we are seeing some dumping. So jumping over into the news today, guys. Fear and greed index sitting at 76 right now. We are still at extreme greed. With the dump going on right now, I would say that we are likely going to see some pullback on the markets. By the way, just so you guys know, the only one that's really up right now is NVIDIA. Even the stock markets are coming down. So we're going to be taking a look at that. Let's jump over to the crypto bubbles. Give it a refresh here now that I've resized my screen. You can see here on the daily, a lot of red starting to pop in. Render, guys, the AI tokens. I was wrong. Last time we had NVIDIA earnings, times these AI tokens ran, they did not run this time. We're actually getting a pullback pretty harshly, and we're going to be looking at the support levels on those AI tokens. So looking at render, looking at RWE today, let us know what you guys would like to see in the TA in the chat, and we will get that going for you. But right now you can see on the hourly, it is a sea of red on the daily here. Some stuff still holding some gains, but for the most part, getting a lot of red there. Let's jump down to see on the market cap if we had any big movers. You can see Bitcoin's down 1.2. Ethereum still holding some daily gains, but down 3% in the past hour, giving back some of that profit there. Solana down 3.3%, 2.2 for Avalanche, 3.7 for Tron. Big mover though, guys. Pepe still up 7.1% for the day, up 32.7% for the week, moving up 2 positions. Actually, just literally while we're watching this, just moved up to a top 20 token on Pepe, guys. So that is crazy what is going on with the meme coin movements. H-bar has moved up 1 spot here. Any big moves to the downside? Eunice, we don't really care about that one right now. Arbiter moved up 3 spots. The graph has dropped 2. So we are seeing some movements there in the market cap, but Pepe moving up to that top 20 position live here on the show as we were watching. It was pretty crazy. Let's check out these liquidations and see what's happened here with this liquidations coming in. This morning, this was about 150. Right now, it's at 175 million here. And you can see in the past hour, just $45 million in the past hour of liquidations here. All of it being primarily $39.3 million of it was your longs getting liquidated. In the past 24 hours, 64,797 traders liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $175.2 million. Largest single liquidation was on OKX. It was for Ethereum for $3.6 million. And the reason that I do believe that we're seeing a lot of the pullback today, because, guys, it's not just buy the rumor, sell the news on Ethereum. It's a very small market. I talk about this all the time. If the stocks are pulling back this hard also, Matt S. Hey, hard not to support someone who is articulate and smart as you have. Hey, we appreciate you, Matt. Appreciate you being here. But when you take a look there at what's going on in the economy today, and we're seeing the stocks pull back, then you have to assume that it is not a buy the rumor, sell the news on Ethereum. It is because of this right here, probably. It's initial jobless claims, guys. This is how many people filed for unemployment this week. It was at 223,000. You can see here the consensus was 220,000, forecasted to be 225,000. So they actually had it on the forecast to be even higher this week. Came in way below, meaning that a lot of people got off of unemployment this past week, or a lot less people filed for unemployment in the past week. But, you know, like someone said here in the chat earlier, they got 5 jobs this past week. So that's what they're doing to get off unemployment. It's just a bunch of part-time jobs. And that is why we are seeing the market. Remember, if job numbers are good, investment portfolios go down. If job numbers are bad and the people are hurting in the labor force, then investment portfolios do good. Why is that? Because at the end of the day, if the job numbers are good and there's not a hit on the labor side of the economy, then they can stay higher for longer on interest rates. This means strong jobs. The Fed Reserve does not have to react to it. So that is why you see that pullback happen the way that's happening. So breaking that down for you guys. There you go. There's your news for today. And we do have some articles. We're going to look at all of that here in a little bit. But first, I want to go ahead and get some Bitcoin chart coming up here. And we'll talk about what's going on with Bitcoin right now, because we are getting a pullback right now and we are losing a critical level on the chart. So let's jump into Bitcoin here and we'll take a look at this. Bitcoin right now, guys. We had this little wedge going on here, and we have now started to poke down below that, heading to the downside. Levels that we're going to be watching here closely is going to be the platinum pocket here at 67,366. And then we also have the 4-hour dynamic reactor coming up here. Let's pull this over to a daily so we can get that top-down perspective and see what's happening here. We have also lost the value area high here, guys. So losing that value area high inside of that, very likely going to be heading down again to that platinum pocket. And that's going to be also where our point of control is on the fixed range volume profile. We do have a momentum dot printing on the Oscillator Pro to the downside, and we are starting to get RSI prime printing a red candle here. We were way high. We were up at like 82. So it was time for this RSI to cool off. It's time for this oscillator ribbon to come down. I would love to see a consolidation at about $67,000. That would still leave us in a bullish positioning here. But as of right now, we are getting pulled back right now in all of the markets. So, well, TradeFly, let's kick it over to you. Let's take a look at your heat map. See what you're seeing on there for some levels of support, and then we'll come back around and talk about this ETH ETF. So,
right on. Yeah, I got the liquidation heat map up on the 3-day. So the alligator closest to the boat was right here. Guess what? We just cleared it out. So now there's still some liquidity sitting on the bottom side of that, but it's not as hot as it was. There was about $500 million sitting pretty much where we just came down to. So that, that is where I would have been looking, but that's where we dumped to this morning. So still, I would say if they're trying to get a little bit more liquidity, it's still on the bottom side, but it's not going to be as big a factor as that hotspot was. So coming over to the chart itself, looking at that, well, what we would like to see here is not what looks like is playing out. We would have liked to see it come down here, get that retest, and then look for some continuation up and right. It looks like it's breaking through that area of previous resistance. We were hoping that that maintained as support. You had all kinds of confluence there between the 2021 high, the value area high, and it looks like it is pulling back still. So I would say your next big area to look at, which is still not that big a deal, is right here at about 67.4 to about 66.9. You got the point of control as well as a previous area of support and resistance. So that would be a key area to take a look at and hopefully look at some kind of price action off of that area. So right now at this point, kind of a wait and see approach, but I would set an alert in that area. And I would be looking for a little bit of price action. If we do magically recover and start to go up and right, which Piper explained to you why that's probably not likely today, you are looking at a high side target of about 71.3. I don't see us going there today. Personally, that's my own 2 cents. This is, again, on the daily. And look at this. Prophecy indicator, market dumps. This thing is magic sometimes, I'll tell you. Coming down to the prime oscillator, looking at the prime oscillator, you see overbought. And that was in correlation with coming up to an area of resistance. So having a little bit of a pullback, not a major surprise, but this is what I wanted to see, not looking like what we got. You never know. I mean, you could get a bounce in this area still. It's not always perfect, but I say the more likely area is down here, as I talked about earlier.
Awesome. Good input there, man. So let's jump over and let's talk about some news here. Because we do have a couple of things. Politics are playing a huge part in Bitcoin and crypto in general right now. Like yesterday, guys, you guys are tracking. U.S. House passed this FIT 21 bill. We're looking at this on X marks the spot here. So it needs to go through Senate still. It has passed through the House. It needs to go to Senate. But we did say that we did hear yesterday that Biden said that he will not veto this bill if it comes to his desk. So if this makes it through the Senate, it's very likely going to be approved. FIT 21 bill is making its way through. So moving up, though, there's another one here that I want to show you guys. This happened. Just came out last night. Donald Trump's campaign said he will build a Bitcoin and crypto army to defeat Joe Biden in the presidential election. So the rally, like they're starting to see the power of crypto people, right? Crypto bros are not just crypto bros anymore, if you will. They're starting to see the power of the mini, right? And then another point that was coming in here that I want to talk about today, because we've got this ETH ETF. Let's jump over to this article. And we'll talk about this. So ETH ETF decision due in hours as Bitcoin price gets 80K May target. Like I said, it's got to catch that support first that we just talked about. But moving down here on Bitcoin or past Bitcoin and getting to this Ethereum ETF data here. Continue the top side theme. Bitcoin, that's still Bitcoin. There we go. Traders see $6,000 ETH price on the back of ETF green light. We think an approval is now highly likely with trading expected as early as next week. And then the target of 60% higher in current spot prices, approximately $6,000 based on Bitcoin's performance in the months after its own U.S. spot ETF went ahead back in January. So you got all of this coming through and all this information coming out on the ETH ETF. The approval date probably today. But when you want to see what's really going on with the politicians in this, This is a bipartisan group of House lawmakers, including the Majority Whip Tom Emmer and New Jersey Democrat Josh Gottheimer. They sent Gary Gensler a letter urging the SEC to approve spot Ether ETFs and other digital assets because it offers investors crypto access in regulated, transparent, safe format. So this letter that they sent to him, there's a copy of it here, says, we urge the commission to maintain a consistent and equitable approach when reviewing upcoming applications for other digital asset-backed ETPs. Specifically, the commission should apply the same principles set forth in the approval of the Bitcoin one as it evaluates the pending Ether application as legal considerations pertinent to Bitcoin that also apply to Ether when the commission's actions earlier this year did so. So that is what that's what's happening there. You got politicians literally pushing on Gary Gensler to approve this Ether one. You've got Donald Trump saying we're building a crypto army to go after Joe Biden. You've got politicians passing bills in the House, going to Senate for structure. What the hell is going on with politicians and crypto? And I want one last point that I want to show you guys, and this is going to shock you, but one last point that we have to bring to light here before we have this conversation is this. The Federal Reserve says only 7% of American adults own crypto.
We're early.
That's a very small group for this many politicians to have words of crypto rolling off of their silver devil tongues out there in Washington, D.C. So, Amy, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, what the hell is going on with all of these politicians getting into crypto? Are we about to see the most parabolic movement into our space that we've ever had yet? What do you think? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was definitely just a matter of time. I think Bitcoin and crypto definitely stand on their own. I don't think we need politicians to necessarily give us the okay to own Bitcoin. But I think the platforms definitely help. I mean, Donald Trump has run on a platform where he will make America great again. And obviously, to make America great, we need to have Bitcoin in it. But yes, as far as politicians, something that's not supposed to be political being made political, again, it was just a matter of time. Bitcoin stands on its own, but it would be silly to not at least have a voice in the fight. So yes, will things run? Absolutely. It's getting the attention, but Bitcoin is going to go up regardless of what people say.
Awesome, and I agree with you. But one thing that I will point out is every election year, things that are not an issue, things that people not even on people's radar, all of a sudden becomes the number one most important thing in America at the moment. And everywhere you turn, it's like, oh my God, is this really like the division in America over BLM? We're just going to put that as an example. There was absolute division in America over that. But if you walked out of your house and talked to anybody on your street, at your local store, like no one had these conversations. It was really just magnified because of the mainstream media and talking points of politicians. What happens to crypto if we see that happen in crypto where every single person is talking about crypto on mainstream media and it is the massive platform that politicians are standing on? What does that push in? Like, are we going to see meme coins? I honestly think this is what will happen. I think we are going to see meme coins be the biggest, strongest moving sector of crypto because of all of these politicians talking out there. And I just think that it's going to be everywhere that you look, you're going to see crypto. And so it's going to give exposure to people that never, ever had it. So Tradefly, your thoughts on this, and then we'll go round robin, bring it back to Amy at the end.
Yeah, man. So just thinking about a couple things. One, why is this such a big political conversation if only 7% of people own it? So what does that tell me? That they own it, that they are invested. And that movement probably came when BlackRock and some of those other financial institutions started getting into crypto. I guarantee you that, those individuals, the politicians, were getting into crypto probably at the same time, or they maybe even front ran it thinking that or knowing that those financial institutions were getting into it. So now that they have a little skin in the game, there's going to be a big push for that, because I wouldn't see this being such a big topic of conversation if only 7% of America is affected, so that's kind of my thoughts on it. I think they now officially, we can say, have skin in the game. They're invested, whether they're going to admit it or not. And that's probably the big push.
All right. OC, your thoughts on this? Is this U.S. craziness in politics going to pump your Mexico crypto bags, bro?
Oh my God, absolutely. I mean, we need to acknowledge that. Today the United States, it grabs the greatest and biggest influencer in all the world, right? I mean, that is just a fact. We have opposite groups like the BRICS and allies and so on and so forth. So all of that things, right? But I mean, if we need to focal point a country in the world, that would be United States, right? And what's going on? I mean, whatever happens with the state because of the dollar, well, then that's going to be moving the world. That's how much power the U.S. holds, right? Something important to touch on, it is, all right, let's see what it's surrounding or orbiting United States. Or maybe I should be saying what is orbiting BlackRock, right? Maybe United States orbiting BlackRock, and who is orbiting which interests, right? I do completely agree with you guys. I think that this is the game that we were getting prepared to see. Remember what we have been saying for so long. We just opened the door to the ETF. We have opened the doors to the bullies. We have opened the doors to the big players and the market makers, right? I mean, we need to, it hurts me to say this, but I keep repeating until I believe otherwise. Right now, at this point, the whole crypto market is just a toy, right? And these guys are playing with that toy until there is enough money for an actual structure being built on it, just like Forex, just like the rest of the traditional markets. But I mean, we have read this, 3% of people are owning crypto. So guys, just be careful. I believe, and you can see that on my analysis, that we have a bright future to the upside, because no matter what, we could be pumping in. This FOMO is going to get greater, right? So it's going to get bigger. So just be careful, because gold miners are in crypto now, all right? And gold is your fiat, and the miners are the big institutions. So they're after your gold. Be careful.
All right, Amy, let's wrap it up. It's your closeout on this topic. What do you think, based on what we just saw, that small percentage, and the politicized movement into crypto? What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I was just going to mention that we saw the same thing happen at the end of 2017 too. That's when the narrative on CNBC was all Bitcoin all the time. They even had that little clock, a little ticker on the side that would actually give you the Bitcoin price through all hours of the day. And so you would see it move up and surge up. And so I think it'll probably be the same thing with Ethereum too, but they'll definitely try to keep the conversation going as long as they need it to. But like OC guy said too, I would use caution. Know that there's so many institutions getting into it now that they will manipulate if they need to, and just kind of only put in what you can afford to lose. DCAing is never a bad idea, and take profits as you see necessary for your own financial goals.
Yeah, that very excellent close out there on how you would do it, not financial advice. You may be a financial advisor, but never that. So we do have some breaking news coming in right now, guys. I'm going to go ahead and make my call on what I think is going to happen today. I think we're going to see pullback this morning. I think this afternoon we're going to go into a rally movement, and the reason is because we're now getting new economic data just getting released based on the PMI. So let me bring this over here. We'll talk about what we have going on here. There we go. Moving in, guys, PMI data coming out. We had the composite, S&P Global Composite PMI flash. We had the manufacturing PMI, and then the services PMI. So these are the sectors within of companies, right? So in manufacturing, services, services, and then goods and retail. So that's what's going on here. This data coming in. If we take a look here on the composite PMI, came in at 54.4, was only projected and forecasted to be 51.1 or 51.4, coming in much higher than on that front. The global manufacturing came in at 50.9. Consensus was 50, forecast at 50.1, coming in 0.8% higher on that. And then services crushing that 51.3 and 51.4 consensus, coming in at 54.8. What's the so what on this, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked me, OC. U.S. economic upturn has accelerated again after 2 months of slower growth, with the early PMI data signaling the fastest expansion in just over 2 years in May. Bottom line is, guys, this information, this data is going to show a strong GDP growth coming up ahead. And this data is now, I think, going to see a flip in the markets this afternoon. I do believe we will re-rally after our pullbacks to support today. Speaking of support, let's go ahead and start looking at some charts. But before we jump over there, Amy, you had some topics that you were looking at. I'd like to go ahead and bring up your screen if you have that shared, and you can talk about what you're seeing in the marketplaces and stuff like that, and like what your interests are. Where are Amy's eyes right now? So,
well, and this is one that I just kind of, let me get you this here. So this is just one that I really like to show people because, like I said, I started in traditional finance, and I often get a lot of questions where, am I too late to invest in Bitcoin? And I always just kind of, in order to answer financial questions for people, you really have to get to know them. That's why I always caution people when they get into crypto. It's so easy to just grab for the closest meme coin that you can afford. And so if you're looking, depending on your financial goals and what you want for yourself, if you can just take a peek, and this is all, we'll just make up a scenario, not relevant to my situation at all. But say if you were to invest like $14,000, well, no, we'll go like this. If you were to invest $100 weekly, and you did that, say, for 7 years, and you can just see with compound interest and just being able to hold, I mean, you're doing amazing things for your portfolio. So it's not necessarily about getting in, getting out all the time. I always kind of tell people, and of course, not financial advice, because with any financial scenario, there's so many things that go into play for each individual person. But if you're nervous and if you're just getting into crypto for the first time and you want to hedge against inflation and you want that quote unquote free money, throwing $100 in weekly is something that's definitely going to make your investment portfolio grow. And I would caution too against, because I mean, you guys talk about trading and taking profits all the time, and that's totally an investment strategy. When we're talking about generations that are baby boomers and they're looking to just kind of hedge some of their money to save for their legacy, they're not necessarily going to be wanting to buy and sell and then incur capital gains tax. So I even push people towards your investment in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency can be as simple as just throwing some money in weekly and just sitting with your self-custody wallet and knowing that you'll be okay. So planting those seeds for people in the beginning of just taking something and maybe not getting coffee for a week or not eating out twice a week and just putting it and investing in yourself and your future can make huge waves for your financial goals.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's where that generational wealth comes into play.
Absolutely.
Because even at the end of this bull run, Crux and I have discussed how much we're going to actually just keep in our crypto portfolio, just for long-term investment. So, especially when you have these ETFs coming out, your TradFi investors, they don't go in and out, in and out, in and out. A lot of times, they're putting stuff in like 401ks, these retirement pensions that are starting to flow in up in, I think it was Minnesota or Wisconsin or Montana, somewhere up there. Big
Wisconsin.
retirement Wisconsin's, is that what it was? Wisconsin went into pension funds. So that stuff's not going to come out for a long time. It's going to be held there. So yeah, absolutely. I think you have amazing points there. And at the end of the day, these DCAs that she was just talking about on this wonderful dollar cost averaging Bitcoin chart here, guys, this is that's when you look for these pullbacks. You do it on red days. You don't even have to set it on a set schedule. Like, hey, it's a red day, I'm DCAing today, because it's all about next year. You don't care about this little pullback. It's just an opportunity for you to buy some more. So that's some sound advice there. Shout out to T-Shroom in the chat right now from over in Investing Bros. Love seeing my boy over here. Let's go ahead and jump into some TA though. Tradefly, you want to start it out? You want to rock some TA for us?
Yeah, let's do it.
Nice. OC, I don't know what you got going on there, but he's starting TA talks, it looks like, for us.
Oh, wrong button, sorry.
It's all right, bro. Let's jump
my
over to
thing and it's just... Yeah, exactly. I just freaked out with my buttons here. wait, I can fix it.
It was actually a lot of fun, man. Could you do that again?
Are we back?
I need some jams while I'm doing
Let's
my
go.
TA.
Let's get it.
Let's do this. All right. Cool. So looking at Solana, getting the Soul Train ready on the daily. All right. So we got up to the previous point of control. That's why I like kind of leaving these fixed range volume profiles up here, right? So it came up to, and what I do too, like the line, let me back up. Let me back up here. Back it up. All right. So the way I like to do the fixed range volume profiles, some people like to do it time-based. I actually like to do it based on the range itself. So if I get a breakout, like right here, I like to take this range, and that's where I'll do a fixed range volume profile, and I stop it there, right? At the end of the range. Then we had the breakout, it broke down. All right, so I leave mine there. But what I'll do is I'll extend the line. So I will then just go in, drop a horizontal line, extend it, and that way it's not actually it's not measuring this range as well, because if you leave it there and you hit extend right, it'll actually measure this range, and it'll keep moving with the price action. So I leave it, and then I do my own lines, but the reason I like to do that is because you'll see a lot of times that they will still act as resistance or support based on which way the trend is going. So just adding a little context to why I still have this yellow line up. There you go. It got into an overbought situation. It also acted as resistance. So that's pretty key, right? It's an area that you can kind of look at and you see it plays out. All right, so now we did get that rejection. We are at a kind of a key level right now because this is the value area low of that previous range. We'd like to see it actually stay in this range and use that as support. However, if things continue to pull back, then we have to look at, well, where can we go next? Well, we have a little confluence here. We have the value area high, so it kind of develops a little bit of a range between 155 and 160. What's 160? 160 is the 0.382. All right, so this is how you take everything and you bring it together. Let me go ahead and extend this out just a little bit so it's not overlapping on everything. But then you start to build this confluence, right? So it's healthy for it to pull back a little bit. This is a nice move coming up of this area here, which was the golden pocket. We also had the dynamic reactor. You know how good I would say, like, in terms of like primo setups, like going back left and looking at something, like we talked about this was it. This was it. You had bullish divergence. You had the dynamic reactor. You had the golden pocket. It all lined up. This is primo. All right. So we did get that movement off of there, but now we're having a healthy little pullback, a healthy little correction, we'll say, but it's not significant yet. But this is the area that I'm now looking at, is about the 382 at about 160. Okay. So why am I looking at that? Well, you just come back left and look, you see resistance, and then we actually broke through. Now, if I take this from the daily, I go onto the 4 hour or the hourly, what you're going to see is the OC guide retest. I'm almost, you know what? Let's just look at it. Let's look at it. All right. And let's see if we actually see what I'm talking about. All right. On the hourly, here we go. All right. So there it is. Right. So here it is, what I'm talking about. We tested it, got rejected. Came up, retest. Broke through. Look at this. The OC guide retest right there. So it flipped what was resistance into support. That is usually an opportunity to go long. And that's the way it played out. But then we came up to the value area low, the value area, or the point of control. And that's where we ultimately ended up getting that rejection. So it depends on how you like to play the game. If you're scalping intraday, look at it, even developed a pattern here. You got this channel that's going up and right as well. And it officially like broke out. It came down and actually hit the smart target. So there's another little shill for chart prime. But that's kind of how I like to play the game. I like looking for this retest. And then the other opportunity was here when it went to the golden pocket and the dynamic reactor on the daily. That is a primo setup. So those are kind of the plays that I like to make. Where do you get out? Well, you look for an area of potential resistance. So for me, I'll be very transparent with you. I would not have rode this up to the point of control. I would have probably been out at the value area low. And that's because it was previously support with that big breakdown. Showed me that's a significant area of price action. That's my exit. So from about the retest to the 382 to here, let's go ahead and measure that. I know this is going back in time. It's hindsight. But the important part is, it's not that it's just hindsight. It's that we look back and we learn from these trade setups and how can we take advantage of it next time. And when you hear us talk about these repetitively, hey, this played out, this played out, this played out, then it's telling you that this is a decent opportunity the next time you see it, because all we can do is take a statistical advantage and put it in our favor. That's it. That's, it's a guessing game. It's still gambling through and through. But where do we have the higher probability of a hit? I would say, something like this setup and something like this setup. So that's still very long-winded, but educational opportunity all in the middle of it.
Awesome. OC, what do you got for us, man? What are you looking at right now?
All right, absolutely. Very quick. Remember that I've been till you guys. I know I've made your ears heard, right? In bleed.
Oh no, you're good. It was fun. It was fun.
This. Sorry, wrong buttons. I just updated my stuff. And yeah, I don't have that built up muscle memory. All right, very quick. Remember that we have been looking at this YK pattern. Don't worry, I'm going to be switching things. I'm going to go to my chart really quick. And remember that, just remember that I was looking at this retracement on the SOS area, right? So usually it's between this overextension of the range. I usually call it the upper range here. And I'm looking for what I call the upspring to then break to the upside. That's also a caveat. This could be going on for the next wave, right? We don't know how long it's going to be taking the YCAF wave. We sort of know, right, based on literature, but remember that charts are a living thing. At the end of it all, there's humans buying and selling, and that makes it a human psychology tool that charts human fear and greed, all right? So basically, we are here responding about human reaction. That means that charts are not going to be always perfect, neither the exact same thing, right? Remember, history kind of like doesn't repeat but likes to rhyme, right? So we can see right here where we have the little dump in here, and we also have Richard Wyckoff saying that its pattern is being crumbling down. So something that I was looking for, it is this area of support right here. All right, so this area of support, and I'm going to be zooming out a little bit in a bit, it is telling me that this is the open range that I have myself identified, and as long as we do hold this area, this could be a good entry point. There is a caveat. We have a strong sell right here, guys. Where do we enter? Do we enter on signals? Of course not. We enter on pullbacks, right? So there we go. We could be having a little bit of that pullback happening there at this area. We can see it on this candle. Just be careful. I want to be looking for the FOR or flip of the ribbon at the bottom. We're still at the bottom of this oscillator. And let me now go back into the 4 hour here. I know it's going to be a mess. So let's say goodbye to these two great gentlemen. And also, we'll see that we are into the break or make area. So use the 1 hour to confirm your 4 hour entry if you want to enter on 4 hours. This is not financial advice, all right? Other than that, basically playing out as expected, all right? We might be just in the far bearish side if we look at the 1 hour. But also, we could be having a little fake out in here, maybe wicking down for a little bit, and then making the next possible movement to the upside. Warning. Remember that yesterday trade I was talking about this trend line here, and I was also drawing this trend line here, right? So possible next scenario will be going all the way down to the center of the channel, somewhere around 65 or 100. So that could be the next area. Remember that I'm looking for the flip of the ribbon at support, right? So we are at support, but we don't have flip of the ribbon. That's what I have so far. That's what I have so far for you guys on Bitcoin.
Awesome. We've got requests right now for Reddit. RDDT stock. We've also got a request for VeChain for VET. If one of you guys want to take one, the other one take the other. I dropped it in the live chat for us. And then I've got CleanSpark coming up. But Amy, you have you talk a lot about Bitcoin on your show, and you talk a lot about Bitcoin in your retirement plan. But do you have other plays in crypto that you watch? What is your diversification like? And then we'll take a look at something that you have an interest in for your investment portfolio. So talk to us about your portfolio build beyond Bitcoin.
Yeah, so I would not consider myself to be a Bitcoin maximalist, but I do think that Bitcoin is king. I love learning about all different technologies and understanding why things win and why others don't. So I definitely do have quite a few altcoins. I have a traditional Roth IRA as well. So handful of mutual funds that are just kind of in there adjusting as they do, year by year. But kind of speaking to VeChain too, VeChain was one that I kind of had eyes on for a while. I think I originally, full disclosure, I think I got in 2020. And that's one where I'm still a big believer in it. I think it's underperformed radically compared to what it offers. And just recently, without doxing the company too much, I was able to travel to Iowa to a company that is specializing in AI and agriculture. And just the conversations around that, I think something like VeChain, whether it's VeChain or not, something very similar to it is going to have to be in the market because of how we're going to track the origins of our food. So being able to have those conversations and kind of see the insights into that, I think something like that is going to be big. Like I said, whether it's VeChain or not, I have eyes on that one to run, even though I think it's extremely undervalued. But Solana, things like that. When I bought Bitcoin, I also had Ethereum and Litecoin. I know Litecoin, people have some sass around that and opinions. I like Litecoin. What else do I have? I have quite a few. Decentraland, I went through my phase with that. AVAX have that. Render's a newer one. That was a late buy for me. So yeah, I have quite a bag. So my whole investment philosophy is I try to get in early and I sell the alts just to be able to put more into Bitcoin.
Right. And that's I think that's what a lot of people do. And that's my plan is, I'm in all these altcoins because of the gain potential that they have over Bitcoin, but they are really just a mechanism for more Bitcoin for me. So, yeah.
100%.
Yep. All right. Well, we're going to be checking out VeChain in just a moment here. I believe TradeFly is going to be bringing that up, but I'm going to go ahead and jump into a chart here. We have a request for CleanSpark. So I'm going to look at Ethereum and CleanSpark real fast. And then a quick glimpse over at NVIDIA, because yesterday, big news on NVIDIA with their earnings reports and an announcement for a stock split. So we're going to be taking a look at that. Let's jump over here real fast, taking a look at CleanSpark right now. CleanSpark is moving down. Guys, this is my buy area. This is where I said when it's in this range, key areas to pick up on CleanSpark. And since that bottom move there, where it hit down here at the bottom of this, the value area low, up to that top point was a 33.8% move there in about a day, guys. It would have been, let's see here, 8 days, I guess, in about 8 days. So a week, I should say. We had a 34% move there. Now we are pulling back down, but we're touching on the dynamic reactor here. Shout out to Chart Prime. This dynamic reactor, we got to bounce perfectly on it there. If we do lose the dynamic reactor, though, we got a point of control right down here, which is right in the top range of that buy point, coming in at about $16.42. We are showing this bearish divergence down here on the oscillator pro ribbon. I'd be looking for a zero line bounce here on this, and that would also give us time to cool off this RSI, because after a 34% move in a week, a stock definitely needs to pull back, cool off, and consolidate. We're getting all of this reset going on right now. I would look again starts picking up about $16.40 on CleanSpark if you're looking to add to that bag. Quickly jump over, show you guys NVIDIA while we're on the stock talk. Looking here, guys, this is a 4-hour chart. NVIDIA sitting at a new all-time high, over $1,000 right now, closing in on $1,040 after a little slight pullback there, little tiny wick. It actually hit up to 1,041. Just saw news pop up because I have the news over here all the time. This morning Squawk Box. Bernstein just called a call for $1,300 projection on NVIDIA. So looking really strong there. And then lastly, guys, let's just go take a quick peek at ETH, and then we'll pass this back around. ETH did pop up here. I told you guys that we had this rejection here on the golden pocket. This golden pocket is pulled from the all-time high to the low to its new all-time high. So if we go back here and take a look at where these points are at, it is going to be the bottom here back in 2020, the top of the market in 2021. The bottom of this last bear cycle is where these fibs are pulled on a trend-based fib extension. And what we're seeing right now is a rejection there on that golden pocket. That's okay. We do have the 50% fib sitting here along with the combined dynamic reactor coming into play on this. That would be where I would look for ultimate support. But as of right now, guys, yes, we are getting a rejection out of the golden pocket. I actually think that this consolidation here is where we're going to sit. And this is why if we jump over, grab a fixed range volume profile from this pump up move to where we are now, you'll see that that is where the value area high, the point of control, which we just wicked perfectly off of, and then the value area low sitting down here. This is going to be the area of consolidation that I'd be watching. The low side on that being $3,614. Point of control coming in at $37.40. So let's go ahead and kick it back over to TradeFly, see what you got, and we'll run this back around.
Oh, man. Yeah, I had a request for Reddit. So I have it on the 4-hour right now. But Piper, I'm going to need you to do something for me. I need my chemtrails, baby. Full send. Let's go. I'm ready for them. Because what I'm pulling up is the dynamic support and resistance zones. You can see it is indicated by these red lines and green lines at chart prime overlays on the chart. This is a completely free indicator. I made a video about it. I like it a lot. Why do I like it? Because it takes these areas of support and resistance and it ties in volume with those. So what you're going to see is this right here, right? That's saying, hey, there's some volume associated with this area of support. Well, what does that happen to line up with? Now let's take it off the chart. Now that we have an area to look at, well, it lines up with the 382. We also have the dynamic reactor just underneath of it, right? So we have a little bit of confluence here in this area, which means this is a good sign. We could see I'll say there's an opportunity here for a little bit of a bounce. Now, Reddit is a stock, right? So I don't know. I would have to look at the market cap or like how big Reddit actually is. It could be highly influenced by just news narratives. And I don't do the research on Reddit. So I don't have that full context, right? Because here we like to talk about the news. We bring that all in as part of the TA. But for now, let's just look at the charts. Overall, looking at the chart, it is a bullish structure, right? It's just moving up and right. This was a nice climb, right? It's just kind of riding the dynamic reactor right up. I did drop this fib retracement. You can see where the golden pocket is, which, that's the area we really, really like. But right here, this would still be healthy, all right? You got a nice pullback off of 66 down to about 55. It could come down probably a little bit further just looking at it to where the dynamic reactor is, but that's only 54. So that's not much of a move. I could see it finding some support here. So what I would look at personally, not financial advice, is this area could be a potential opportunity where we find support. And then you would probably be looking, if it breaks the dynamic reactor, I'd probably see a little bit more of a move down to the 0.5, and that would give me a lot more pause. Here's what I would actually really like to see to get me a little bit more excited about staying in this. You want to see a confirmation of this area right here at 55. So you'll see me draw this quite a bit. I don't always like to come down or I don't always like to get into a long position on that initial move. I like to see this. All right. So you get a bounce. So almost kind of like a double bottom per se. I won't say per se, but kind of. And then I'll look for that move up and right. But when I see this next touch in this area of support, what I want to see here is this start to move up and right. Okay. So that tells me that strength is building in this area of support. Then I can bring up the dynamic support and resistance zones. What you should see here is this actually start to grow. All right. You should actually start to see it come out a little bit further. You'll see more of an extension here, which means there's volume coming in at that area too. Further confirmation that you could have an opportunity for a movement up and right. So that's what I'd be looking for on Reddit personally. We are at a pretty, I'll say significant area right now because we lose a dynamic reactor. You can see how it's flatlining as well. And that bends over down and right. And that's probably not going to be a great sign. And then I would probably key more on an area like the golden pocket 618. So somewhere around $48, $47.
Some news that I do want to point out on Reddit is that Reddit has agreed to work with OpenAI so that OpenAI ChatGPT's AI chat can actually pull info and data from Reddit. So that's a big piece of news on Reddit, guys. So this pullback, they have very bullish sentiment on the growth of Reddit because of this. So this little pullback may be opportunity. That's what I'm seeing there. So.
Hey, Pipe, can I drop a little bit of alpha real quick since we only got like 5 minutes left?
Yo, drop that alpha, man. What you got?
Yeah, come on over to my screen. All right, so Chart Prime, if you're not following them on Twitter, please do that. All right, follow them, turn notifications on, and this is why. One of the things that they've been doing recently is they've been putting out free indicators that are like limited edition. All right, so see this one. This is only 400 spaces on this one right here. If you come over to Chart Prime right now, you can see it's only been reposted 79 times. That means there's still over 300 slots left to get some of these free indicators. And some of them are actually pretty good. I just downloaded one recently. That one was pretty cool. I'm still kind of working through it. So, I don't know the ins and outs of it. So not ready for prime time for me to bring on the show. But something like this, I love support and resistance with volume. I would definitely take a look at this one. I'm already going to start back testing it. Hopefully it's something I can bring on the show, but I wanted to drop that for you guys because it's an opportunity to get a free indicator.
Awesome. Yeah. Just so you guys know, the link down below for Chart Prime, that's their paid Pro suite. They have a ton of free indicators that you can also get. They are trying to provide the best tool set available in the market, whether you want to get the paid service, which you also get 28 hours a month of free classes with OC Guy, live classes, and then you also get it's worth it. It's so worth it. OC, what do you got on your charts there? Let's let you wrap it up. Hey, we got Chart Prime in the chat right now. Shout out to Chart Prime. And here I also saw the Fern Child, if you know, dropping in there earlier. So send it when you were talking about your chemtrails there. So he's always watching. What do you got for us today, OC?
Absolutely. I just want to double down really quick on Ethereum because it is being also pumping and dumping. Guys, remember what happened with the ETF of Bitcoin, right? So if you're feeling like the market, it is turning on yourself, do not become that slinky guy, all right? So that slinky guy should not be you because you are chasing after prices. Look at your indicators. Look at this shout out that we were looking yesterday. Remember, we talked about this yesterday, right? And the spot I was looking for a further continuation, we see that loud order block making its job and then pushing forward. You enter on retest. For example, we had the breakout retest, beautiful dynamic reactor, beautiful automated pattern system on Chart Prime, and finally, beautiful confirmation on the dynamic reactor and your strong signals. Guys, do not become that slinky guy. Just saying, all right? So be patient, Things, volatility is going to go away, and then you'll have your opportunity. Just really doubling down or going into vet because it was requested. We have an up-ranging channel. Usually that up-ranging channel ends up breaking to the downside, but we also can see that we have an absorption zone being forward right down here, and we are battling of breaking that dynamic reactor to the upside. All right, so far we are bearish. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel, which is that we are above the zero line. We just need to see either Ethereum or Bitcoin make that little bounce in the zones that we're looking for, and we could be seeing VeChain just finally breaking above the zero line, going for the retest. Remember, that is what you're looking for. Do not remember the slinky guy, all right? not let it be you. And then after the old sleeky guys have been twisting their bags, that's when you go in and catch their money, and that's when you start making some profits. All right, so this is not financial advice, guys, but remember to add your indicators here. This is the zone, and I know it's a little bit messy. Guys, I like my spaghetti, but this is the zone that you can see big support being formed, as always, with big resistances. All right, so we go to the liquidity area right here. We go back to big supports. We wait for the flip of the ribbon, and off we go. So that's what I got for you guys. Turning back to you.
Awesome, OC. Appreciate it. What was that one?
Nerd alert.
Nerd alert. That is OC. Yes, absolutely. Amy, we appreciate you being a guest today. You have brought some great insight and great knowledge, and you are always welcome to come back to Piper Academy and speak here on the panel. We will have you back anytime you want to come back. So, do you have anything for the people? Yeah, anything for the people on the way out? Go for it.
Well, first of all, thank you again for having me. I loved being able to spend the morning talking crypto with the guys. So, of course, if you will have me, I would love to be back. One thing, I guess, just to leave the audience with is one thing that I always say at the end of my videos is stay curious. I think that's a huge thing here if you're going to be investing in crypto. Keep your head in the news and just know that honestly, there are no stupid questions. We all saw that viral video of the guy who worked for the government who couldn't explain why the US was buying their own treasuries and creating all of this debt. That's because people aren't asking questions. Nobody's giving them answers, and people are afraid to have those hard conversations. So I think as long as we're educating ourselves, continuing to be curious, and just know nobody knows it all, but if you're willing to work hard enough to find the answer, you're going to really benefit in the long run.
Absolutely. Great points there, talking points. And we appreciate you coming on today. I'm going to try to connect you with everyone else that I know, Jenna X out there, connect you with Randy Hipper. We're going to try to get this female movement in crypto to grow, because there are some smart, brilliant people that are not getting the recognition they deserve. And I think you guys need to grow, and you guys can team up. So I'm going to try to connect you with those people and see if we can get you going. Also, guys, follow down below all of Amy's links. She's got TikTok. She's got Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and X. I put up several of her links down below. So go give those guys a follow. Go give those links a follow and follow Amy. She's got great knowledge every day. So we'll have her back on for sure. TradeFly OC, before we head out of here and go raid Randy Hipper's channel, you got anything for the people on the way out?
Yeah, I'll keep it quick. As always, it's great mixing it up with everybody in the chat. It's one of my favorite parts of the day. You hear me say it every day. I love doing this with you guys, and I hope everyone has a great day, and hope you all have a green day, maybe. Let's look for that sport area.
Maybe later in the afternoon.
Yeah.
OC, what do you got?
Guys, if you have OCD or something like that, remember to hit that like button, because once you hit it, well, that OCD is going to go away, just like the stain on my sleeve right there. It finally went away. Don't believe me? Click it at odd amount of times. Insane amount of times. Make sure they're odd, not pairs, but click it. You'll see that how good it feels. So other than that, thank you guys so much for joining, and turning it back to you, Piper.
And also next week, be watching for more stuff with Blowfin. We're going to be connecting that link, and you guys can all join down below with our link. We're going to start doing some more trade calls using Blowfin, so you guys need to check that out. But it's time to get out of here. It's time to go raid Randy Hipper. So thanks for joining us today, guys. We will be back here tomorrow morning. Actually, TradeFly is going to be running the show tomorrow because I'll be on the road. It's more vacation time. That's what you do when you retire and you plan smart investments in crypto. You go and you travel. So tomorrow morning, OC Guy and TradeFly will be running the show. I'll be on the road, and I will be back next week. Guys, until then, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. keep on rolling out the wheels follow. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, form a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels follow. Sound off to get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude!